Joe Rogan promised everybody that nothing would change on his show when he goes to Spotify, other than the fact he's going to exclusively leave Spotify, right? So he's going to he's on Spotify and on YouTube for the time being until the end of the year, when he'll go fully to Spotify with video and audio and everything else like that. But we know that there are 50 missing episodes or more. All seem to be a similar theme to that. The one side says that, no, those episodes are going to be released. Like, let's just go with the Alex Jones ones for now, since he's the most, maybe, controversial of everybody. Although I would argue he's one of the more least controversial or middle of the road. I don't think anybody should be censored, you know. But the fact of the matter is, it seems like they are. So the one belief is that these episodes are coming out and they're going to be released with Joe's favorite episodes, and it's all going to kick off when the complete change from YouTube to Spotify happens, which makes sense. That's a great marketing idea. But Joe Rogan said nothing about this. No one else has either, although Alex Jones himself has said, don't worry, you know, it's all going to be okay, which makes me think maybe that is the deal that's going on, because even Alex Jones is saying, hey, don't worry about this, it's fine. So, okay, so it's either that or maybe Rogan paid him, like, hey, let me give you some money, just don't make a big deal out of this, you know. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. And then the other theory is that you know, he's being manipulated by Spotify. But brand new news is out that now Spotify is thinking about maybe editing Rogan. Rogan made a mistake the other day with some information, and he had to come out and say sorry and say he was wrong, which is okay because, you know what I mean, that makes sense. When you do something on a show, you want to correct the truth. But, you know, there's been a lot of shows that he said a lot of stuff that maybe wasn't factual. Although Joe Rogan does a decent job of trying to fact-check things. When he doesn't know, he literally has his producer, you know, Jamie, and his, you know, do the hey, Jamie, go look it up and go, can you tell me if this is real or not? I do this with Leah all the time, my wife. And, you know, on all my between all my shows and everything I've ever done on here, I mean, I've got, you know, 60 million views, you know, on YouTube. I've acquired over 60 million views in my time here on YouTube in my various channels that I have. Which you can see right there. And, you know, I mean, you want to do that. You want to try to fact-check things. I like that. But, you know, there's been many episodes where something wasn't right or whatever, and he didn't come out and apologize or say, hey, we got this wrong. Now, if this just happens to be that he got so much heat for this one, then maybe. But a lot of people think it's because Spotify pressured him, like, dude, what are you doing? You got to fix this. And so he had to sort of bend the knee or make an apology about it, when before he never would have apologized for it. But, you know, in my opinion, it does go with it. I think it does go with Joe Rogan's character to say, like, hey, we messed something up, I want to correct it. So to me, you know, I feel like it is in his character to want to get the truth right or get the facts straight. And so this is not as concerning for me. But what is concerning for me is the news that Spotify apparently is thinking or trying to have they're having these meetings, and they're trying to edit Joe Rogan. You know, hey, maybe we can edit these things before they go up. And, you know, this is $100 million investment in Joe Rogan to their platform. And you know what I mean? If Joe Rogan said nothing would change by going to Spotify, everything remains the same. He still has control. He's just putting it all exclusively on Spotify. And that Spotify won't have a hand in this or won't be manipulating him and things like that. But already we're hearing that they are doing that. In fact, this big-time story that, you know, that they want to edit potentially episodes or go over them before they go up. I mean, this is crazy. And we've seen this before. And we've seen it with Howard Stern multiple times. The first time we really saw it with Howard Stern was when Howard Stern was a radio shock jock radio host, a guy we all grew up on, a guy I grew up on. Hell, I grew up on Porn and Stern and a bunch of other things. And the fact of the matter is, it happened with Howard Stern throughout his years on radio, especially the last, you know, 10 years. Hell, they even made a movie, basically, where it surrounds the controversy of Howard Stern. I mean, Howard Stern Private Parts is a damn good movie that actually, Howard Stern Private Parts still holds up to this day and will probably always hold up if you go watch it. Now, it may not hold up for the progressive weirdos who find, like, SJWs who are like, this is offensive. But the story is actually very kind of endearing and also shows some of the struggle in a more Hollywood version that he had with radio stations and censorship. And, they hire the guy, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, my God, what do we get into? We got to censor this guy. And Howard couldn't wait to get off of radio, and that's when he went to Sirius Satellite Radio, and he could do just about anything he wanted on Sirius Satellite. But now we've seen this with Howard Stern twice. First, he was censored on the radio. Hey, we're going to hire you because you're the biggest guy out there, but now we're going to try to warp you and tell you what you can and can't do on your show. And here's all these FCC regulations now, and here's other regulations that we have. And Howard said, F you, I'm going to Sirius, where he then went completely off the rails and crazy. But after a while, and you have no censorship, there's no one to tell you what to do anymore, it got a little bland. And, they reined it in a little bit, and then the world changed, and now Sirius Satellite Radio is not the same Sirius Satellite Radio they were when they began. When Sirius Satellite Radio began, they wanted all the offensive humor. They wanted the Opie and Anthony. They wanted the Howard Stern. They wanted whatever they could get to be offensive, shocking, exciting, and that's what people wanted. And now there's all this cancel culture and pussies out there, and everybody's a crybaby. And so Sirius Satellite Radio has bent the knee. They bent the knee so far that Howard Stern realized that Hollywood people wouldn't come on his show, that Sirius Satellite Radio wanted him to change his show and how he does it. He wanted to change his show and how he does it. So he's bent the knee himself, and Howard has become a guy that just does interviews and is a very sort of old-school radio type of guy now, as opposed to the shock humor he used to be. Much like Imus. The very thing that he attacked, he became, which is fine because you mature, things change. But now Opie and Anthony are gone from Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius Satellite Radio has no controversial content, no exciting content, no fun content on Sirius Satellite Radio. I can't believe that anybody would even pay to be on Sirius Satellite Radio. But now we're seeing that type of censorship even on a free platform or free-to-upload platform like Spotify. Spotify is becoming the new radio FCC, the new radio manager, the new station manager, the head NBC guy, whatever you want to say, the Sirius Satellite Radio guys. We're now getting into those waters on Spotify. And now Joe Rogan is being pressured how to run his show, just like Howard Stern was. The difference is Howard Stern said F you in the 90s, and Howard Stern said F you in the early 2000s. But now, recently, in the last 7 years, Howard Stern said, you know what, you're right. And Howard Stern bent the knee and changed his format for whatever reason. And that's okay because he grew as a person. And I'm not here to bash Howard Stern or Joe Rogan because I like both of them. I mean, I grew up praising and, worshiping Howard Stern. So, I mean, dude, listen, I like Howard Stern. I'll never not like him. And I even like his current stuff. You just have to accept that people change and people grow. And I do miss the old show, the old Howard Stern show. But, you can always go back and listen to all this stuff if you can. I wish there was somewhere where you could archive every episode. Maybe there is something like that on the internet that I don't know about. I know you can YouTube a whole bunch of them. But, I don't know who owns all the episodes and things like that. That'd be very interesting to find that out. But you can always reminisce about some old episodes. I have some on tape. A lot of the archives from all the Sirius Satellite Radio archives, I believe, are up. So maybe that's one reason why you buy it. I don't know. I don't know if they've scrapped episodes or censored Howard Stern. Like the Wendy, the retard, and this. They changed them to the Gary the retard's like Gary the wonderful guy or something. I don't even know. It's just. It is what it is. But, I mean, you don't want to see that happen to Joe Rogan. And I understand that he's going to grow as a person, too. But, I mean, his show isn't even that The thing is, his show isn't even controversial. Joe Rogan sits down in an open forum and has a long-form conversation interview with somebody. That's basically all Howard Stern does anymore. Howard Stern barely does any jokes anymore and things like that. The bits are so just PG-like or safe or whatever. So, Joe Rogan is actually way safer than Howard Stern is. But just the very idea that Joe Rogan had somebody on that people don't like Alex Jones. Oh, my God, he had Alex Jones on. So what? I even saw people he's a racist for having Alex Jones on. What? Alex Jones is a racist? Is he? What's a racist then? So it's just it's whoever these people don't like, that they don't want to have on. So that's very dangerous. They want to censor free thought and free thinking. Free thought and free thinking is what we all are supposed to love. Hippies, conservatives, liberals, Republicans, whatever you are, independent, religious, whatever. Well, religion has a problem sometimes with free thought, but whatever. Obviously, free thought is supposed to be open to everybody. In fact, yeah, religion has some of the most problems with free thought of anybody. But now certain people on the left are also, who almost treat the left, the extreme left like a religion, and Antifa and things like that. They have a problem. These SJWs have a problem with free thought. SJWs and virtue signalers are the new religion, because humans always need to have a religion or something to like a cause to get behind or something like that. And, it used to be God wouldn't like this and you're doing this wrong. We need to stop that. That's what a lot of the religion used to do, you know what I mean, in the 80s and the 90s and before that and for all time, eternity. But that's what the new SJW stuff is. Oh, my God, you had somebody on who I don't agree with? That's not allowed, Joe Rogan. You must not have that. We must ban that. Well, that's crazy. If you start banning free thought, you're eventually going to find yourself in a dictatorship country where if you think or say the wrong thing, you're rounded up and killed or put into a prison or silenced. It all leads down the same path. No good person on any side anywhere thinks that we should silence people's thoughts. Nobody. Right? It's why even when the little groups of the KKK that are out there, right? There's not a lot of people, but there's that little core. There's still like the people who think they're in the KKK or whatever, the 5,000 or 10,000 members of the KKK throughout the United States, wherever they are, whoever they are. Like the real KKK, the real fucking group that we all agree are disgusting and horrible and fuck them and whatever. There's a reason when they come on and they say something that they believe in that we don't just go hunt them down and stuff like that. It's because we have this free thought here, and it's like, listen, as long as you don't go out and you start harming people or doing that, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it's good to know who these people are. You know what I mean? So below the KKK are a bunch of other people who might have extreme thoughts on either side or any side or whatever side you're on, right? You may even have some extreme religious views, right? I may not agree with you. I don't agree with your religious views probably, and there's extreme Catholics and Christians and Muslims and things like that. We may not agree, but you know what I mean? As long as you're not hurting anybody, even if your thoughts and theories and wants are disturbing and scary and maybe even dangerous, they could be dangerous. As long as they're not being put into play and there's nothing that's actually adversely hurting someone or taking away someone's rights, listen, whatever. If you believe that like your religion someday is going to take over or something like that or whatever, that's crazy and creepy, but I will fight for your right to believe that if that's what you believe at this time. Even if it's slightly hateful and kind of terrible or whatever, listen, whatever. You do you as long as you don't harm anybody else. And that's the extreme that I'd go to defend free thought. You know what I mean? People who are out there who hated Obama, it's your right to think that or whatever. People are out there who are like, I hate Trump. It's your right to think that. I'll defend all of you. I'll defend everybody. That's what you're supposed to do. And, to have you're upset because Joe Rogan has some guests on. My question is, will Joe Rogan bend the knee? Is Joe Rogan fighting Spotify? Is this a conspiracy that's not even a big deal and this is a big tinfoil hat thing? Or is Joe Rogan, accepting anything Spotify says because he's got $100,000 or $100 million from them? Hey, sure, whatever. Okay, if it just takes that to get the $100 million, sure, we'll just get rid of them or get rid of that or get rid of this or that, the other thing. Will he fight back? Will we start to hear about this? Will he comment on it? We don't know. And a big thing is going to come in February or January when Joe Rogan goes exclusively to Spotify. If those episodes don't come back, then you know that they were silenced and that there was no Joe Rogan's favorite episodes, unleashed or whatever. I'm really wondering what's going to happen with this. We could really do another 2 hours on how Howard Stern compares to this situation and how many different times Howard Stern changed over the years and how he had to fight censorship and the FCC. But now there's a different censorship out there. The new censorship is you're completely canceled altogether. Your bank account, your PayPal account, your credit card accounts, your Patreon accounts, your website even. Website proxies will tell you we're not working with you and hosting your site. Goodbye, because it violates our policy, but yet it doesn't really. They just don't agree with your thoughts, which it doesn't even make any sense, or your jokes or your comedy. Very strange. I hear a lot of people talking about how art is important and we need to have art and love and all these different things. And comedy is art. No matter how crazy it is, it's art. And those same people will say it's hate speech, but it's not hate speech. It is comedy. And that is art. You are silencing people's art. The idea to sit down with somebody for 4 hours and talk with them is also art. It's information, it's art, it's content, and it's being censored. That is one of the biggest travesties and tragedies in the entire world. Some outside influence telling a creator, an artist, what to do or not to do is a dangerous thing. But it's something that the artist can control, and if Joe Rogan decides to go along with this for $100 million, the artist accepted the ability for his art to be skewed and controlled by a corporation and a corporate entity in the name of the almighty dollar. We've seen it before. I'm Joe Cronin. No relation to Joe Rogan. Names sound similar. I get it all the time. And I've been doing this for a long time here on YouTube since way back. Here's my other channels you guys can check out so you don't miss out on all my content. Corrupted Nation. The Joe Cronin Show, which has been around since 2012. Shame on News, which is where this video will be uploaded to, probably this and Corrupted. And we're also going to talk more about this situation tonight on Throwdown, my Tuesday night show at 10 p.m. I believe it's tonight, or maybe, I'm not sure what's going on with AEW, but you know, I do sports, wrestling, and all kinds of other things. And I don't exactly know what's going on with AEW tonight. I heard maybe there's a show, or they moved the show to tonight. You know, I'm not really sure. But anyway, subscribe to all my channels so you guys don't miss out on all my videos everywhere, because I break them up. Shame on News is mostly news and politics and funny stories and things like that. Evil Spectrum 3 is my gaming channel. Joe Cronin Show is mostly my wrestling and sports stuff. Corrupted Nation is kind of the everything else, shock jock, crazy, live streaming stuff, and a few other things all rolled into one. And of course, 30 hours a month of bonus content on my Patreon. Think about joining the Patreon. Over 330 members. You guys can download audio podcasts from me and also my wife and other co-hosts and all the shows we do on Patreon. There's so much there, guys. 30 hours bonus content a month you don't hear on YouTube. It's absolutely worth it. And the $2, $5 tiers are killing it. Plus, we have over 33 $25 producers or above. Check out the rewards for becoming a producer and everything else. And subscribe to all 4 of my main YouTube channels. Find me on Twitter at JCS Commentary. Although you never know how long that will last, because I am banned for life. IP banned from Twitter for tweeting at MTV when they made the Dear White People video. And I made a joke. And I simply wrote, MTV hates white people. Similar to the Kanye West thing from back in 2004. I'm banned for life for that comment. That's how butthurt and insane this world has gone. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And I'll see you guys again in the next video. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my other videos. Love to have you guys here. You want to hear all my videos, and I want you here too. Leave a comment. Leave a like. And I'll see you guys later. Boom! I'm going to go feed the dog!